In continuation of the last video in which I explained the changes happening in real estate, if you missed the first part, the link is in the first comment. In this part, we will discuss how things started to change because of a series of events. In my last part, I discussed that in early 2000s, the real estate was a booming industry and everyone wanted to be a part of it. Then a series of events happened that changed the industry to what we know it today. India was following value-added tax regime earlier, which had a number of flaws. Number 1, tax was added at each stage and the sale is happening. Number 2, there was no real-time monitoring of the transaction. Number 3, a number of the stages were added and removed in a product cycle to generate money out of thin air. Number 4, no online deposit of check tax. Number 5, no rules and no monitoring. By all means, it was a system where avoiding tax was more beneficial than paying it, and that exactly happened. Merchants and traders started avoiding tax payment, but to avoid any arm twisting with authorities, they had to find ways to dispose of this unaccounted cash. And this was no small amount by any standard. To give you an idea about the magnitude of cash generated, one small shop in Old Delhi doing a turnover of 1 crore per month is generating anywhere between 15 to 30 lakh cash every month, and there are traders whose volume touches hundreds of crores. Thousands of these shops were generating millions of cash every month. Keeping a stash that big was not an easy job. You can't keep filling a room without attracting unwanted attention, isn't it? A disposable system has to be in place. The cash generated by this was illegally disposed of in a number of following ways. Handled by the caretaker for a fee, where he kept all the money and record, invested in physical gold to reduce the volume of stash, handled by cooperative society, consumed in a hawala operation, given for private shareholding, private loan, buying benami properties. Now this stash had a huge bearing on real estate demand. A decade ago, if you were aware, in any property deal, cash component was a substantial part of deal value. But now it is not the case. How this entire system was reformed one by one, I'll cover in the series. The understanding of the pattern may possibly give you the idea of the next move by the government. The introduction of GST, real-time monitoring of transaction, online payment of tax, changed the entire system and stopped the cash generation to a very large extent. A lot of work was still needed to be done to plug the gaps. I will cover all this subsequently. Paying tax became more rewarding than avoiding it. A proper analysis of the entire series of events will give you an idea of where real estate industry is headed, so that we can also change our strategy to work in this field. Surprisingly, all these changes also bring so many business opportunities for innovative startups in the real estate field. I will be posting tiny bits about it regularly out of this series too, regarding it every now and then. Other than this series, I am planning more videos on varied subjects like why real estate is no more just buying and selling, how you can add value to a real estate transaction, how to increase ROI in the same property. This is Naveen Verma. Keep following #Naveen the Guru Innovative Real Estate, Alternative Real Estate for real revolution in real estate industry. Thank you and Jai Shri Ram.